All right. Hey, welcome back to Brandon Media Strategies. We are in session 3.1 today. Trying to make it sound cooler when I say that. 3.1. Today, I will go over kind of what you need to be working on for the Bubbler project to keep working on as we just kind of keep developing and keep moving forward. You should have, you know, you're set. I'm going to look at things tonight or tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. I pray I can look at them tomorrow. I always have this Wednesday class now. It takes up my entire day. If not Thursday. And I'm going to go in and check things. And I'm looking for, I'll look for brand consistency, making sure things look good, look nice, and then we can move forward. Because all you're really doing is just using your first design and transferring that same design to different areas. That is what we talk about. We talk about brand consistency. Everything must look exactly the same. If you're going along and then like all of a sudden Instagram ads, you're like adding in like purple swirls, I'll be like, where's the brand consistency? You didn't have purple swirls anywhere else. And all you have to do is like copy and paste the assets you created to move forward. So we'll talk about that. I'll talk about the media project in case that one's a little bit different. And we'll move on from there. Oh, and the Spanish versions. New stuff. Thursday, I'll go over these two. Let's going through this. Quick challenge. 5 questions. You use the internet. It's all words you should know. They're all about design. I hope you know what you're doing. Basically, think of it as extra credit. When you go to a design conference or you go to a ad workers event or something like that, and you hear words like these are the words you'll be hearing when somebody's talking about certain things. So we know what to do with brand elements. Just read that part of the book. Let me know what you got out of it. What stuck out? What was great? Every designer needs to know. Again, this is a quick fire. I'm watching too much Top Chef these days. This is a quick fire challenge. It's all it is I want you to look at something, gather the information, and knock it out. And it should like just text. I'm looking for like perfectly set text in a perfectly set document. And that's it. You don't have to add pictures. I never said add pictures. You can do that as you want, but I'm looking just for like perfect typography instantly. Like how quickly can you do perfect typography? And have it maybe explain your sentence as well. So, and everybody's doing great. But I don't want anybody to be like, well, I had to do that every designer thing and it took up too much time. No, this is literally, I should put timers on these. But then if I put timers on it, it's a whole ball of worms come out of that one because then some people need more time. All right, exploring media. What is this one about? All right, exploring media. You did a design. One of them was design discovery. You're supposed to, like a vaporwave, or, a designer, and those are great. And then the second one is a brand, and you'll be hitting on those brands and what, making a little design piece that looks like a brand that you say like your favorite brand of yours. And it's just supposed to be like, that's like those dream products. Because, I don't know in the end who works for their dream client. Well, I did actually in my lifetime. I worked for Indian Motorcycles, and I did work for Polaris Motorcycles and some other ones that I was like, once in a lifetime chance to work on those brands. Media. This is the stuff you see in your social media feeds. I have one social media feed, and it's YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. No, not too much. A lot. But I see my only one. And it's usually I'm watching people build stuff, make stuff, not like weird things. But I get ads. And Instagram, you get ads. TikTok, you'll get ads. YouTube, you get ads. Facebook, you'll get ads. I don't know what other social media there is out there. But they all have ads. And they all have reoccurring ads based around you or what you've searched. So pick something that you've been getting hit on, like for that media. Like, what is that media? Like, this keeps popping up. The media, like, I keep getting this. We'll do a little design about it. Like, oh shoot, seeds. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. Here, Earthwise. I have no idea how these people, how this started showing up in all my feeds, okay? The weird part about it is I was looking for some alternatives. I don't think I necessarily did a Google search, or if Google just heard me talk about, look, there's stuff. But I already purchased, and I did not purchase that stuff. Whatever. But I ended up buying. It came up, and I was like, oh, this may be the alternative I'm looking for. And I was like, damn it. And I was like, they got to me. The media got to me. So somehow they knew. And so this got to me, and I purchased from them. And we'll see if it was a scam or not. You know, like, I'll see how good this was. So I would probably do something on Earthwise and just complain about their bad W there. That little globe is kind of cute, but that W drives me nuts. It looks so wrong. Everything is touching the top except for the W. But that's what I mean by media. Like, what's popping up? What's popping up? If you are one of those people, if you're the one in a million that's like, I have absolutely no social media. Do you watch TV? What commercials come? If you don't watch anything and you're not no media, then what magazine are you? You have to be getting some sort of ad hit, and use that. What's the media? What media is hitting you? And do a little write up on it. You know, design it, make it look like the media that you're getting hit. You know, who's bugging you? Buy this, buy that, and do a search on that. You know, like, do your work on that. So that's what I mean by media. Somehow within all the feeds that we get and all that stuff that we do, we're getting hit. So that's the media research. So just like all the other ones, it switches back and forth, follow these exact steps, and this is done. You're going to get this document creation. You're going to get this from printers. You're going to get this from other companies, and they're going to be like, this is what we need. And guess what? It won't be this clear either. A lot of times they just put in like, the bleed needs to be 3/8 of the amount of space between the margin, and you like have to do all like this weird math. Be happy I give you these simple instructions and not the ones you'll get later on in life where you need like a science degree to understand like what the heck they're talking about. Everything's looking good from what I tell so far, but you know, just follow the directions, do everything right. Again, keep checking you follow all the instructions here, all the instructions here. Yes, every time in the industry, yep, one type of PDF goes to the client, a different type of PDF goes to the press every time, all different files. Then there's sometimes they even ask for a third one to go someplace else. They need a JPEG of it. You need to know how to do this. This is a regular occurrence, and this will be a regular occurrence in your life. Everybody wants it a different way. I'm making you do two. You're going to be like, somebody's going to ask for it in some really weird format, and then you got to figure out how to do that. But knowing how to do this and just knock these out is great. You can set up, I think you can save parameters within InDesign and Illustrator for when you export, and you can have it saved. Like every time I hit like smallest client, it just automatically does it. Why go even further? Let's see if we can do that like right now. While I'm talking about it, I'll open up Illustrator file. Oh, I thought I had all these open. Oh, no, I do. Let's just go to this. No, this. I'm going to go to File, Export, Export As. And I should be able to go to PDF. Don't burst, export. Now, if I do smallest file size, compression, marks and bleeds, I want none, 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 none. Can I do a customize? Oh, custom. There you go. And then you name it. You should be able to name it. And then go through that. Give it a try, because then it remembers, and then you have that set up for you every time. Play around. I'll play around later. I just thought of that now, and that's why I haven't done it, is I literally just thought of that now. Like, oh, wait, I think there's a way. I don't save it. I work on 3 different computers, and so I'm always jumping around, and it's not really worth it. I just know how to do it. Usually, if you're working on one computer, you just stay there. You guys aren't history. What the heck? All right, so you know what to do there. All right, let's go over the bubbler assignment. I'm gonna make it big. As big as it allows me. All right. We've done a logo lockup. You've done 10 variations. I'm gonna look at your variations. There should be one that sticks out. That's like probably the best to use. And now we've moved on to a poster and a flyer. As I've talked in the past, the poster and flyer should be the exact same assets, exact same colors, exact same logo, exact same bottles, exact same, not bottles, exact same can. You're like, everything should be the same. There shouldn't be any differentiation between the two. I should know from looking across the room and on 2 different computers, if you put up the poster on one screen and the flyer on another, they should look like, oh yeah, those are for the same event. Nothing should be different. If you add something to one, you need to go back and be like, do I have to add this to everything? If I don't want to, then don't add it to the one. So the poster and flyer, you are to create the die line. That's bleed, margin, crop marks, the standard that you have been learning how to do, but you will do it for yourself. The flyer, I don't think it was necessarily needed to be 2 sides. It can be 2 sides. It should be 2 sides, but if you didn't, it doesn't specifically say that. But the die line must be incorporated into the final design. The poster and flyer must include the logo lockup, the body copy, a QR code for contest rules, contest dates, and all that should be on the poster and the flyer. When I say QR code, you can just do this. And just get a QR code. Just get a picture of one. It doesn't have to work. I just want it placed in. All right? Easy peasy. You don't have to go to the create your own QR codes. It doesn't need to work. I don't want it to work. I just want an image in there that people will understand that you place the QR code as part of the design, and it's integrated into the design, and so it looks good in the design. Now, you did a poster and you did a flyer. I need a second version. I need a Spanish version as well. What? That's all right. Oh, and you know what the social media post does? It works. Here's the Spanish version. I have the text here for you, except for there's not a giant space in between it. I just had AI do the translation. I cannot say that it's perfectly correct. If I was getting this from the client, when I worked as an art director, we had either a professional translator or the company would have a professional translator that would take the copy and translate it and make sure it was like correct. I have done it for both Spanish speaking and French speaking countries. So I've had to do all 3. I've had to do an English version, a French version, and a Spanish version of the same design. And it gets a little nutty. It gets a little hard. And then there's certain rules in certain places in Canada that where they're French speaking, that French is first, and French has to be bigger than the English if you're combining. There's a lot of different rules. But so you will have an English poster and a Spanish poster. You will have an English flyer and a Spanish flyer. Now, I also mention it for the media posts. 3 distinct variations, but consistent information. Spanish version as well. So if you were to take any of the verbiage from the poster and put it into the Instagram ad, you will need to also make that a Spanish version as well. Easy peasy. You know, it's just copy and pasting. The one where it didn't translate is "Don't Burst My Summer Bubble Promotion." Is all it changed is promotion, "Don't Burst My Summer Bubble." It didn't change this verbiage, which I thought was kind of different. And it helps us as we don't have to redo the logo. There would be times, and there are times that will come up in your future that you will need to redo a logo. So I would have to take this and then "Don't Burst My Summer Bubble" and redo it to whatever the translation would be, which would be very similar to it's, you know, it's close, but it's like, oh, you still have to redo it. Like you keep 90% of what's there, but then the "Don't Burst My Summer Bubble" would say something different. It didn't translate through. I'm not going to have us redo the logo. There's also times where I think the logo lockups don't always need to be translated. It's just the informational text. I believe there are laws about it that if it's a logo, it maybe doesn't need to be, because the logo is just the logo, but the informational text, if you're supplying it in a different language, has to be correct. It's like Coke. Coke in Mexico is Coke. Coke in Canada is Coke. It's the same logo, but then when you get into the text of it, that's where it changes, and that's where you need to be proper with it. So that is why we're doing it. And the other one is generally with Spanish and a French, though it's not really showing here as much. No, it is. If you go by line length, these 3 lines and here, these 3 lines and here. So there's more characters. You may be like, whatever, it's like 12 more characters. This one is actually shorter, which is weird. Generally, in both, and I'm only using these 2 languages because it's the ones that I've dealt with the most, is Spanish and French, is usually, I believe it's about 20% more characters in Spanish, and I believe French is like 35% more characters. So you end up, when you design and you design in English and you put in a spot for the text, and then all of a sudden you have to put in the Spanish text, you're like, oh God, it doesn't fit. Now I have to like rearrange things to get it to fit perfectly. And that's why we are progressing forward with this. And it's just becoming the common thing to do, you know, do one version, do another version. We are working on a bunch of designs this week as well. So you got your post and your flyer. Those are due tonight. I will check them Wednesday to Thursday. I'm not, you know, you've seen my work. It's rarely do I ever say like redo everything. It's going to be like fix this, fix that. And then you do it and you fix them and you can keep moving forward with designs. It doesn't hold you up. If at any point you're like, you're holding me up from designing, I will say work on every other project then. Work on the quiz, the other ones, and then come back to this. Let's go through. And then I'll show you some of my artwork. So social media posts. What are those? It's 3 boxes. I'm basically just doing square boxes, basically basing it off of Instagram. Here's a student work. This is old. This is their flyer. Pretty rad. This is their poster. So brand consistency, right? Same colors, same everything. And then we go into the Instagram ads. Same colors. The shoe is recognizable. The drink is recognizable. The splat of gum bubble is recognizable. And then like this, you know, stickiness is recognizable. So all recognizable on all 3 of these comparatively to the poster and the flyer. With Instagram ads, less is more. The student included a little bit of the text, but you got to remember you're on your phone 90% of the time looking at Instagram. or I don't know. Yeah, you're on your phone. It's small. Don't put in the entire paragraphs of text. Nobody's going to be able to read it. You know, you want to get to the gist of it. Don't burst my summer bubble giveaway. You know, click here for more information, whatever it may be. But again, brand consistency across the three, because we don't just show one. We want to keep people interested and slightly throw them off. So one day they may see one ad. The next day they may see a different ad. The next day after that, they may see another different ad. You know what I mean? But they should, excuse me, all look the same. Pardon me. But just with some variation to keep people interested. Like, oh, is this the same one? Oh, yeah, it is the same one. Oh, man, these bubbler people are really on the ball, doing great stuff. Again, think about the size. It goes on the phone screen. So when you're designing and you're designing it and you're like, oh, yeah, I could totally read that. Don't forget, it's going to be that big to other people. So you have to size it according and keep in what's according. So make sure you do that. And then again, if you decide to include immerse yourself in the vibrant summer, then you need a Spanish translation one. So you'll do a second version of that as well. If it's just the logo, we don't need to worry about that at this point. Dates, you should probably do the dates correctly. That's an easy one. Just go, oh, it should say it. No, I don't know if I have that. Somebody get extra credit for finding out the dates. I don't know that offhand. So that's another one. The Instagram ad. Next up. And again, we're like 3 of them. It's just taking the exact same assets that you've already developed and putting them in a new form. I'm not asking you to design anything new. This is where it's like it goes down the line. You know, like I got the design is approved, and now we just worked out. Got social media posts. I take everything from the poster and put in what I want in the social media post in 3 different varied layouts with consistent information. Done. Ooh, what's this? Box art. We got to get that burst on the box art. We got to get that logo on the box art. But why? Well, when people go to the stores, we need to advertise in the store. We need to advertise with the box art. I will show this one. I think there's a box art. They went crazy. You do not have to go this crazy. This is like full on, like redo the box. I am just looking for you to integrate your logo into the box art. But Joel, where do I get the box art? Well, glad you asked. You get it. Down here. Artwork and die lines. You open that up and there's a bubbler box art. And then you're just going to go to download. Downloading a zipped file. I'm going to open that up. I have it on a different screen. Double clicked it. I get a folder. Within that folder, you should have one image and an AI file. The AI file should just open right up. If you need to find the image, it's there. This is fully vector, except for the image. This is what their box art looks like. This is a folded out exact replica of their box. How do I know it? Because like a year ago, I went and bought a box and I took it apart and I scanned it and reproduced every part of it to their exact box, even with the extra parts. See that? What's with the bleed? Oh, I got bleed on there too. And there's like this part. See how this part meets up with this part? Would you ever known like this might not even show up, but it's still there just in case? It's all vector, and it's all ready for you to do. Now, here my guidelines are everything that's on the box must stay on the box, but you can adjust it. What does that mean? You could take the logo, group it, and if you're like, I need to make it a little bit smaller to fit an area for my logo, go for it. And then it's just not on one side. You should probably do the front and the back. They're pretty equal, right? So do the front and the back, and then work from there. You can go crazy, and I may pull you back and be like, oh, you need to put back in such and such or that. But yeah, your logo needs to go on there. Oh, I guess, should I do the quick example here? Let's do that. And mind you, this is not good. Oh, thank goodness I did what I did yesterday. I went through and made sure, like, I went through and like combined everything on this logo. So if I go copy, go to box art, I don't want paste remember layers. Do not want that. And I just go up here and then I paste in, and then I'm just going to scale it. Quick scales. I'm just going to double click there and hit 25. And then, you know, I have to figure out like, how does this fit? Now I may be like, ooh, what I need to do is, and which within my design guidelines, all right, is I might flip these two clouds. This one goes over here. This one goes over here. And so then it fits in this area better. And that's just like a double flip. You know what I mean? Like I'll take these two parts. I'm going to do that. Hit OK. Whoa. I'm going to move them. Oh, the bubbler one's not going to fit. I have to do more adjustments. I hit OK. I made that cloud specially just for the bubbler the one way. Oh, and this needs to be expanded too. I can move that down. It's a little tight. That's why I'm looking at, you got to look at all that stuff. Eh? And then this is the height of that one is wrong. So I'd probably have to go and fix that. But you know what I mean? Like I can adjust this, but still keep it within those guidelines to get it to fit. Or maybe that much of it going over that doesn't matter. I can make this maybe just a little bit smaller, but I want it big because I want people to notice. Like there's a special, this box is special comparatively to all the other boxes on the shelf, but it's matching the brand. I don't necessarily need to change colors on anything. And this is like what I'm looking for. So I put this here, I do like more work, put it here and make it very consistent. So that's that. So that's the box art, and it says die line provided. And then vehicle wrap. Dun, dun, dun. Vehicle wraps. This is going to be the toughest one, but it should be the most fun. Any vehicle you want to use, you can use. What does that mean? Well, pick a vehicle that you think would be really cool driving around, advertising bubbler. I'm not talking about a stupid truck, but like cars and vehicles. Do you ever see Red Bull vehicles? You just do vehicle wraps. Like they got some weird one. Like look at these. It's like a super monster truck, and then they got another monster truck, and then they got their little mini Red Bull mini. I think they're minis. These guys, the Mini Cooper from Red Bull. I don't know if you've ever seen those driving around all over the place. I used to constantly do vehicle wraps. They are so much fun. I've wrapped many a different vehicle in time. How do I go about doing it? Well, first off, do not do a 3D view. We never do a 3D view. We always design flat. Tent is 3D. We design it flat, and then we make a 3D mock-up later. Box art, we design it flat, and then we take the images and we make it look 3D. Vehicle, same thing. All you need to do is type in the name of vehicle you want. I've even done like scooters in the past. I'm so mad I can't find like old files that I had. Like one year I did the Bubbler scooter. I did a scooter and I found all four sides, just flat artwork for like a Vespa. The Chevy image isn't coming up for mine. Oh, but I can show you what the other student did too. Can't remember. What did they do? They did a Corvette. That's it. This is the flat art of the Corvette. You can find these online and just use the picture. But what you're doing is you're just doing just the outline of it, all right? I don't want the 3D version of it. I want to be able to see what is on the side, what's on the other side, what's on the front, what's on the back, and maybe what's on the roof. The roof is a good one. This is just all, again, just going on the internet. What do I want? I'm trying to think of a weird car. Now I'm coming on a blank. Lotus. I'm going super high on Lotus car template outline. You know, I'm just putting in all the buzzwords. Look at that. Front, top, front, back, side, side. All I need is that. Like, and then you can do a screenshot. Do a screen grab for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you need. And then you design flat on top of it. Don't design in 3D. We're not going to do that. We design flat. I want to know what the roof looks like, the front will look like, what the back will look like, and the two sides. I don't need to see it all in isometric. And you could do like any car. Like that was the weirdest car I could think of. Or you do 1950 Cadillac vehicle template outlines. I don't know. Just dig around, you'll find it eventually. Images. Look at that. Like this would work. What is this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, that is a Cadillac. You got some cool ones, you know, front, back, sides. Guess what? If you got one side, you got the other side. Both sides don't have to look the same. That's why this one only has one side. Flip it around. You got one message on one side and another message on the other side. Look at this hoopty. Look at this Fleetwood. That'd be hilarious. But you can find basically every vehicle on the internet. You know, just dig around. You know, find one. And then again, only the assets that you have created for the logo and the poster need to go on the car. And not even everything needs to go on the car. Like the car is just like a little billboard. It maybe has like the giveaway dates on it, but you do not need to include paragraphs of information on a vehicle. Nobody's going to sit there and read the vehicle. It's just there for flash, like driving through the campuses and driving through like by all the hospitals. Because remember, Bubbler is really big in the nurses. Like just drive around there. Just drive around honking its horn, maybe throwing out some flyers. It'd be rad. So that's what we need to work on. And it's work on, like I said. This leads to this, which then leads to this, to this, to this. Nothing new is really being created. So nobody should be like, oh my God, I have like 12 designs due for. No, you have one design and 3 variations of it, of the same crap. You're not remaking anything, which then makes sure that when you do those initial designs, they should be perfect as you are using them over and over and over. That you should have the time to create them and make them the best. And then when you copy and paste, you copy and paste down the line. You will be using Illustrator and InDesign, hopefully both programs. Copy and paste works across. I went through that in both classes, brand and when I say both classes, history and brand usually are taken around the same time of each other, and there's a lot of overlap. And that's why I say that. So if you're not in one or the other, but there's overlap in what you do with the design and setting up templates and setting up files, because the more you do it, the better you get, and the more used to it you get to create beautiful designs. Let's look at my stuff and I'll talk through some of my stuff. All right. I got to this point and I was pretty happy. I did these funky letters, but now that I look at it, I'm like, I feel like I want that curve to go out further, which would just be me. I could literally maybe just like, hold down shift and knock those over. Maybe just burst. I'm just using the arrow key just to follow that curve a little bit better. Summer was gappy. This M gap is big. So maybe if I move these over, and I can move this M over a bit. And remember, I'm not just, because it's diagonal, I'm not just moving down or across. I'm moving across and up or down to get it to properly go where I want it to go. So I could do that. You know what? I'm going to forget I did that. I copy and paste this wrong everywhere else. So I finished this up. It was based on the letters I liked and some fun stuff I learned along the way. What is that? And I think I may have showed you all this, but just in case I didn't, I want to re-show you. And it works sort of best if you do lines, and you do lines using like brush tools. So I can like, and I made this. And there's a lot of points. So one thing, when you double click on this brush, you can change the accuracy. So if it's really accurate and I draw and just say like, there, I had too much coffee, it sort of keeps that, all right? I'm gonna delete this stuff. So it sort of kept it. Now, if I double click on this and I go to smooth, there's a delay in the process, but what it's gonna do is it calculates and tries to smooth this as much as possible. Now, the other fun thing I found out is if you go to, and I did this with every letter. One of the two things with every letter. If you go to path, there's simplify and smooth. And I did both of these. So smooth, you get this. And if as you move it, see it like, so that's taking it to the extreme of smooth. But if I just like wanted mine, it started here and see this crunky stuff up here, I can like take it and be like, there, I got rid of those and it smoothed it out. But then, so when I grab that and I go to here, there are less points. And then I can go to object, path, and simplify. And it will be like, how many points do you want taken out of it? It gets a little wonk if you take out too many points. But you can make it so there's less points, and then that's even smoother. So I kind of did points first and then smoothing. So I showed you in reverse. So if I was to do another one and see how many points are there, I'm going to delete this. There's a billion points. Object, path, simplify. See how it reduced the amount of points? It's like, oh, I can figure that out for you. Less points is a smoother line. It's simpler. And the less points you have in Illustrator files in general, the smaller your Illustrator file will be. And I think that really comes up when you're doing like really big stuff. But again, always learning new stuff. How did I find that? I can't remember. I was just like doing something and I was like, path. I was like, oh, I wonder what this does. Oh, because I was outlining stroke. I was doing a lot of text as outlining stroke. I was like, I wonder what these do. Click that. I'm like, oh, these are beautiful. I was like, I used it on everything. I used it on these lines. I used it on like darn near everything. So always explore. How did I find it? I clicked around. I didn't know it. I just clicked around. Give yourself time to click around. So I finished that. And then here's my poster, which is really, in my mind, kind of piss poor. I do not like it. I did it. It's based exactly on my drawing. Don't say it. Oh, where's my drawing? Oh, I placed in my drawing. I can't believe it's not there. There. That was my drawing. I just like feel like it's not what I wanted. It's boring. It's like lackluster. It needs something, but it needs to come across for me in color or style. I don't want to just add stuff, but something needs to change. And I hope I can figure that out for like next week for us, just to show you the design process. Everybody goes through this kind of thing. Is like, I mean, everything's there. I've got my logo. I've got some imagery of people enjoying, this always brings makes it relatable. I've got my paragraphs of information into which I would just switch out the Spanish version. And I've got box shots and I've got can shots. Yeah. And then I would take this and make the flyer. I did this last night. I worked on this over the weekend because I had to hand lettered every one of these letters, like a hand don't know. Didn't take that long, but with other stuff. And then I did this, and I was so like lackluster. I was like, I'm not doing my flyer until I know I like what I got here. Just something needs to happen. Maybe like the net needs to be a different color, because I'm trying to stay consistent with color. I'm not trying to have a rainbow of colors. So I have like this sand color is actually like kind of like this orange from the box. The water and the sky are both cyan, which is the color here. This blue is the same blue everywhere. Like I'm not trying not to add like 700 colors to this, but I'm at a point where I'm like, I need to do something. I don't know what it is. And then like I tried to make it look like these are buried in the sand a little bit. But then when I added the gradient, at first it didn't have a gradient and it looked even worse. So just design challenges. I have to get through my own design challenge. Going back to this, when I was showing you all this for brand consistency, there is this, right? Everything here is everything here, except for some weird stuff going on with my outlines. And then I did a vehicle. This is one part of my vehicle. It did not keep my vehicle image, which I'm kind of pissed at. Like it did, and then all of a sudden they went away. And again, the reason it went away is because I didn't link it properly. Update link. But if I found the name of it, I bet you I could find that on the internet. So if I go to links, window, links, this is what I need. I need to copy this name. So I'm going to open up a new window. This is, funnily, the weird stuff sometimes graphic designers go through. I'm just going to move it to the side so I can type this in. Oh, every time I switch, that goes away. Shift F4. I took a screenshot so I could. Chevrolet. There. Because then that stays up. Chevrolet dash Bell dash Air dash COUPE dash 1957.gif return. So I did an image search. This has got to be it. No. I'll just do it to the desktop. It looks like it's the right one. Oh, what did it do? Well, I got to go to images. No, that's wrong. Oh, so much for trying to do a back search. All right, but sometimes that works. I don't know. It did not fully work, but that's what I did in the past. So that's why it looks like that. And then it would be mirrored. You know, maybe one side would be the teal stuff, but it's same pattern, same everything. I'm adding nothing new. I think I showed you. Oh, this is the Instagram ads, 1, 2, and 3, all built for you with a margin, crop marks, everything built in, and the box art that you have. I think that's good for today. And then Thursday, I will go over the other design lectures. I'm trying to find I'll go over the other design lectures. And you guys let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really excited to see Wednesday, once everything's turned in, what you guys have going on. So, all right, that's it for me. Take care. I'll talk to you again on Thursday. Have a great one. Bye-bye.